and breathe. Wow, that was not a pretty game, ladies and gentlemen. That was not a pretty game. That was such a stressful game, a pressured game from Barcelona, but we knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. We knew going into this match it was going to be a tough matchup against a Newcastle side who had to try and get the job done today. They were going to come out firing, and that's exactly what happened. But thankfully, somehow we get away with something in this game, because let's be honest now, we deserve to lose. We should have lost this game. Newcastle were the better team. They created the most chances throughout this game compared to us, where we were god-awful going forward. They get their goal from Harvey Barnes, a great play, a great cross into Harvey Barnes where he gets a hit onto it. Joan Garcia almost makes a great save, and they go up 1-0. I was like, all right, cool. They're going to win this game 1-0, which for those that watch my stream, I was like, all right, I'm happy with that. I have no problem with that. But then in the 96th minute, somehow in the dying seconds of the game, we win a penalty. Dani Olmo wins us a penalty. Lamine Yamal steps up and gets us back to the 1-1, and we finish off this game 1-1. Wow, I cannot believe it, but believe it, it happened. This is what champions need. We need a little bit of luck, and we need to be resilient as possible, especially in a game where you're not the better team. And thankfully, we walk away with something to go away to the Camp Nou for the second leg, where, of course, it's all tied. It's all even. No, this game basically didn't even matter. It didn't even happen because we're going into the second leg 0-0, basically. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona go away to St. James Park, somehow walk away with the tie. Again, we deserve to lose. Unfortunate for Newcastle. I thought they were great today. They caused a lot of problems for Barcelona. Again, we all knew they had to come out firing this game because they had to try to get something from this match. Going away to Barcelona, they're going to struggle. Let's be honest. We're better when we're playing at home, and let's see how Barcelona can match up at home, because we need to have a better performance than what we put up today, because today we were poor. For the most part, defensively we were pretty solid, but going forward, man, god awful. Nowhere near good enough. But yeah, let's just talk about it. First off, let's talk about the lineups that both teams decided to go up with. Eddie Howe decided to go with Rams to win goal, backline of Trippier, Thiaw, Byrne, Hall, midfielder Joe Linton, Tonali, Ramsey, and up top Ilanga, Osula, and Barnes. So for the most part, a pretty solid lineup from Eddie Howe. I think the only real confusion that probably most people had was why Osula started this game over the likes of a Walter Maid and especially an Anthony Gordon. I'm not sure why he decided to start with Osula. I mean, Osula was all right, had some threatful moments, but you can see technically he's not the level of Anthony Gordon, that's for sure. But interesting choice there from Eddie Howe. But for Barcelona, Hansi Flick decided to go for Joan Garcia and goal, backline of Ronald Araujo, Paco Barci, Gerard Martin, Joao Cancelo, midfielder Marc Bernal, Fermín López, Pedri González, and on top Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski, and Rafinha. So for those that watched my preview yesterday, I pretty much got everything spot on except for one position, which is the right back position. I have put Eric Garcia to start this game, but as we all know, Ronald Araujo started this game as our right back, and the reason being is because before the game, it got announced that Eric Garcia was going to be out for this game due to some discomfort that he was feeling, and of course we don't want to risk that. We don't want to risk an injury from that, so he couldn't be involved for the starting lineup for today, and Araujo took up on that position to play as a right back, which was pretty shocking to me. I honestly thought Araujo, okay, starting this game, obviously that's all we pretty much have to for any type of defensive replacements that we need, but I thought Araujo was going to go back into a center back role, Martin back shifting to the left, and then Joao Cancelo playing on the right hand side. But no, Hansi Flick decided to play Araujo throughout the whole 90 minutes as a right back, or until he got subbed off as a right back, which is a pretty interesting choice there from Hansi Flick. But all right, he decided to trust Araujo to play as our right back today. But for the most part, for the rest of the team, it was pretty much spot on of what was going to be the starting lineup for Hansi Flick today. I'm sure Eric Garcia being subbed off definitely changed some game plans for Hansi Flick, because we saw that Araujo, for the most part, was just defending throughout this game. Going forward, practically offered nothing compared to what Eric Garcia could definitely offer a little bit more. But hey, we got to deal with what we got. Unfortunate situations for that Eric Garcia not being available for this game. But talking about the first half, boys, man, that was a very stressful first half, man. For the most part, I would say it was a pretty even matchup. I thought for the most part, Newcastle definitely got into our box a lot more than we did. I think they approached our box a lot more than we did, trying to create some danger. But for the most part, it was an even matchup. I wouldn't say either team had a clear-cut opportunity where they should have gone 1-0. I think the most dangerous chance that Newcastle had in that first half was a cross from Ilanga on the right flank, where he crosses it to Osula. Osula gets a header onto it, and then he hits it out. Besides that, nothing else. Actually, there was this one play from Ilanga where he got through the middle, but it got called offside. It was a very, very tight offside. I don't know. The angle they showed, it looked like he was kind of onside, and Joan Garcia made a world-class save, but it got called offside. So from the plays that were actually onside and weren't called offside, Osula had the quote-unquote most dangerous chance where he heads it over the bar. But besides that, not much. But I would say definitely Newcastle approached our box a lot more than we did, because going forward, we did absolutely nothing. We were god-awful. I don't know what our players up top were doing. Lamine, Fermin, Rafinha, Lewandowski, absolutely non-existent link on play. It looked like they never played with each other, because I don't know what they were doing. Lamine struggled a lot on the right-hand side. I gotta say it. Lewis Hall had a great game against him. For the most part, also because Javi Barnes always tracked back as well to help him out, so he got double teamed for the most part. But Lamine really couldn't create much magic like they were used to from Lamine Yamal. Fermin, the only credit I can really give him is his pressing was great, but besides that, man, my guy was slipping and sliding. I don't know. He needs some new boots, and going forward, really didn't offer much. Really, barely took any shots, or no shots at all. And the link-up play was awful. Rafinha, I don't know what's been up with this guy, but his decision making has been god awful, and the same thing has happened today as well, where he lost the ball stupidly in the final third. Either took too long or was too early. Like, his decision making today was awful. Of course, what we get from Rafinha is his pressing, his leadership. That's great and all, but man, when you're losing the ball in an easy manner like he did today, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, especially when we're seeing how defensively solid Newcastle are, and especially with the high line they were playing, with the quick players that they have, they can hit us on counterattacks pretty easily, like they did at times in this game. Another dangerous chance that they had was when Ilanga, a great play between Ilanga and Osula. Ilanga 1-2 with Osula, and Ilanga gets through, but Joan Garcia thankfully reads the cross perfectly from Ilanga to stop any type of dangerous opportunity from there. But up top, non-existent. Lewa, we in the first couple minutes we just try to force balls through him to bring us some type of hold-up play. But man, come on, against Bern, against Tia, mostly against Bern, he got bullied, man. He struggled heavily today against Bern. Bern had a great game against Lewandowski, pretty much took him out of his game for the most part. Lewa had maybe one or two good hold-up plays. Besides that, pretty poor game from Lewandowski. But yeah, everyone up top got awful. But for the most part, it was an even match in the first half. Again, Newcastle got through us a couple times. We caught them offsides a couple times as well. Joan Garcia was very solid during the corner kicks, because they had I think they had a good 3 corner kicks right at the beginning of the game. They had a couple corner kicks in the first half, and Joan Garcia was amazing coming out for every single cross, especially when we consider the tall ass players they got. Bern is 6'7", and Tial is 6'4". Joe Lent is 6'1". It's this guy, I think he's 6'4" as well. Look at these motherfuckers, bro. They're tall as shit. So obviously they could definitely cause some threats from corner kicks, but for the most part we defended it very well. From their standpoint, Ilanga, Lewis Hall, Trippier were great in that first half. I thought they were the most, obviously the best players for Newcastle in that first half. Ramsey did pretty well. He got into a lot of open areas. He was the one tracking back a lot, or dropping deep to collect the ball as much as he could. But yeah, Lewis Hall was great today, man. He spun Araujo in one play. Again, for the most part, handled Lamine Yamal with the help of Barnes. Ilanga just running through Cancelo a lot throughout this game. We know the threat he is. He's very rapid. Just give him that little burst, and he's through you. You're not catching up to him. But those were the main threatful players from Newcastle in that first half. And for Barcelona, Pedri was very useful, of course, because again, the way they just pressed us, they were just choking us in that first half, in our own half. We needed someone that can get us out of it, and Pedri for the most part was that player. Defensively, pretty solid. Cubarsí, Martin, pretty solid matchup. Pretty solid game from them. Did what they needed to do. Joao Cancelo had his moments of blunders, but at the same time had some good recoveries as well. And Araujo, he was all right. I think he let Lewis Hall make a lot of crosses, unnecessary crosses, a lot. He has to shut those down better. But hey, what we get from him is try to, playing as out of position is going to be tough, right? But not a great half from Barcelona. better from Newcastle, but pretty even in terms of chance creations. Second half, at that point in the second half, it was a matter of who comes out firing more. I thought the advantage we could definitely have is since they were pressing us a lot better than we were, they were running a lot more than we were, that they were going to probably be gassed out, and then we could take advantage of that, especially with the quality that we have in the midfield and up top. But no, Newcastle definitely came out firing, and they were definitely way more effective going forward than they were in the first half. They definitely caused a lot more problems getting through us, again, just making dangerous crosses into the box where we were just defending awfully. But again, thankfully, they really didn't create many clear-cut opportunities until later when they made their substitutions. But again, this is the same thing from us, just no clear chances. The only clear chance that I could remember from the first half at least was the one chance where Rafinha makes a pass into Fermin, where he hesitated for some reason to pass the ball immediately, and then he finally makes the pass, and Fermin takes a soft shot to Ramsdale. Not good enough. Besides that, nothing else. Nothing else. Lamine had one little play where he just shoots it and Ramsdale hits it out. Pretty easy standard save from him. But nothing else, man. Nothing else. Non-existent. And in the second half, the same thing goes. We were just giving up the ball stupidly, making poor decisions, going forward, non-existent. Again, I'll give credit to Newcastle as well. They were pressuring on us very well. They were man-marking us very well, where they didn't give us many options. And we struggled a lot through that game. And for the most part, we were just defending. We were just defending for our lives. At that point, I was just thinking, man, let's just be resilient. Let's just hold off, and let's end this game 0-0. Until the subs came in for Eddie Howe, where he brought in Livramento, Anthony Gordon, and Jacob Murphy. Some very dangerous players right there. Anthony Gordon, he's an intelligent player. He makes great runs in behind. He's very quick. Livramento, great technically. And Jacob Murphy, he's a smart player as well, and he can finish. And immediately when they came in, they were difference makers for Newcastle as well. Jacob Murphy had a clear chance in the box where thankfully he skied it. No one was marking him. I don't know what was happening there. And then, of course, they get their first goal from Harvey Barnes, where I forgot who made. Jacob Murphy makes a cross into the box, and Harvey Barnes completely by himself just taps it in basically. Joan Garcia almost makes the save. Like, if he made that save, wow. Incredible, but unfortunate for him, like, he can't save us all the time, right? Especially when it's such a clear opportunity like that. And Newcastle go up 1-0. Now, who do we blame for that goal? We can blame one or two players, either Rafinha or Araujo. Rafinha, because he was there in the box and left Harvey Barnes completely by himself, didn't even think of tracking him and trying to stop him from any dangerous opportunities. And Araujo, because all the way on the other end, he was trying to waste time. He scooted back his ass back into the pitch trying to waste time, and the referee wasn't having any of it. He told him to get up and stand outside, and then they hit us. They start up a play, they hit us on our side, and Araujo is just jogging back, and he doesn't even go back to his position where he's supposed to be. He drags into the middle, and of course, and Eddie Barnes is all by himself over there, where Araujo realistically should have been. But again, I'll also blame Rafinha because he should have been marking him as well, knowing that he was in a dangerous area. But yeah, just bad defending from Barcelona. Newcastle get one back, and I was like, damn. Can we please hold off? Man? And then minutes later, Pedri comes off. That had me worried. Then after that, Bernal comes off with an injury. That had me worried. And over the top to Bernal, and the Bernal just goes to the ground. Thankfully, no. Bernal says he's all okay. It's just cramps. Thank God, man, because we would have been fucked. We would have been screwed if he went out with an injury, man. That we would have been. It would have been so bad for us. But Bernal goes off. Pedri comes off. Pedri coming off was the main worry for me because again, he was great today in terms of dropping deep, trying to collect the ball for us, trying to hold the play as much as ball for us. He got fouled a lot of times throughout this game because, of course, of the threat that he offers, because of how easily he can open up the game for Barcelona. So not having him there was definitely a worry. Dani Olmo comes in for him. Rashford comes in for Lewandowski, and Casado literally comes in for Marc Bernal. And of course, later in the game, Ferran and Xavi Espart come in as well. Xavi Espart we're talking about too. He came in very solid as well. Kudos to the kid. But I was definitely very worried when Pedri came off because we were losing a bit of control right there, especially considering a game where we were lacking control throughout this game. I thought we were going to do better, but we just didn't. Again, kudos to Newcastle. They did their job. They did their thing. And at that point, Newcastle were just running and running and running, trying to get the second. They were trying their heads off, trying to get the second goal, which is, of course, which is understandable considering we've been poor and they've been all over us, right? But thankfully that doesn't happen. And then around the 96th minute, I'm like, bro, let's just end the game. It was like around the 96th minute already, though. For some reason, the ref wasn't blowing the whistle. I guess he gave us one more attack. Rafinha makes a great pass into Dani Olmo into the middle, and Dani Olmo tries to drive the ball into the box, and he gets fouled by Thiaw. He gets brought down by Thiaw inside the box, and a penalty para el Barcelona. Clear penalty, no doubt about it. Lamine Yamal steps up, and I'm sure some of you were definitely worried that Lamine stepped up because, of course, he missed a penalty recently, which is understandable that you could be worried, but he is Lamine Yamal. He is the number 10 for Barcelona. He is the heir of Lionel Messi for a reason. He steps up, and he takes the penalty with such confidence to bring us back into the game. 1-1, sends Ramsdale the other way. 1-1 for Barcelona. And again, we're just wondering to ourselves, how did we get away from it? I don't know. How did we get away with it? I don't understand how we did it, but we did. And thankfully, we did. And the game ends right after the penalty. But boys, again, I don't know how we did it. Thankfully, we did, because, again, at the beginning of my stream, even what I said yesterday, if we were to lose this game 1-0, I wouldn't be upset about it, right? Or what I want, if it was 2-0, okay, that's worrying. 3, 4, anything above that, that's unacceptable. But if we had lost this game 1-0, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because, okay, we can go home, we can definitely make the remontada. We scoring 2 is better than having to scoring 3 or 4 or 5, like we had to suffer recently with Atletico Madrid. So I had no problem losing this game 1-0. But thankfully, we walked away with something. But for the most part, the performance was poor. The main positives that we can take away is how defensively solid Barcelona were at times, and especially having a freak in nature like Joan Garcia, who just comes up big when we need him. Like, he was great today. If anyone deserves a man of the match from our side, it's definitely Joan Garcia. He was spectacular today, saving us a lot, very confident, coming out for crosses, making some world-class saves. And again, if he saved that goal, that would have been insane, like literally insane. That's the Champions League kind of goalkeeper that we definitely need. But for the most part, defensively, where we saw like Cubarsí and Gerard Martin, I thought did pretty well, especially playing from behind, making those line-breaking passes. That's obviously why Gerard Martin started this game instead of Araujo playing as a center back, because of the threat that he can offer in those line-breaking passes, and of course, any type of ball playing ability that we need from Gerard Martin. That's why I'm thinking that he started. Hansi Flick wanted to play Araujo as a right back rather than playing as a center back, because there were moments where they were going to put pressure us through the middle. So we needed someone who can make those kind of passes, who's good on the ball, who's composed on the ball. And Cubarsí and Gerard Martin are better at that than Ronald Araujo. So I can understand that's why he probably wanted to continue playing them as a center back pairing, and then have Araujo on the right hand side, right? So again, for the most part, Cubarsí and Gerard Martin, I thought did pretty well. Cancelo, again, he struggled at times against Elanga for sure. I think he definitely recovered himself at times too. Defensively, I wouldn't say was ripped apart. I thought he was all right, but going forward, not as much as we probably wanted, honestly. But solidish game from him. Araujo, again, I think he lets Hall make too many easy crosses. Same thing with Barnes. I thought he could have done better mid-game. Not his best position, obviously, as a right back. Going forward, offered nothing for Lamine Yamal. He stayed back the whole time. That's probably another reason Hansi Flick decided to just put Araujo on the right-hand side and keep Cancelo on the left, because he thought Lamine could just handle the right-hand side by himself, and then Cancelo offered support for Rafinha, right? But we saw that that just didn't happen, because Lamine struggled a lot throughout this game. But Araujo, not too impressed with his performance. Midfield, Pedri was great. Fermin, his press was amazing. I thought he was great pressing. I thought he offers a lot when we needed to put pressure on Newcastle. But going forward, on the ball, wasn't the best. Gave away too many balls. At times put in some weak footing, weak foots, weak tackles. Was slipping and sliding a lot too. Like, I don't know what was going on there, but all right performance from Fermin. But no, I thought he did pretty well. I thought he won a lot of headers, was very physical in the box, played with confidence. That's what we need from Bernal, especially going up against a physical midfielder like Joe Linton, Tonali, and Ramsey that obviously Newcastle put off for this game. I thought Bernal did pretty well before he got subbed off for an injury. Poor. This was definitely a poor performance from Lamine Yamal. Really didn't do anything at all. Like, he tried to open up play at times for us, but yeah, just nowhere near his best performance. But hey, he walks away with the goal, so kudos to him. But yeah, that second leg, I'm gonna need something big. Bro. But yeah, not his best performance for Lamine Yamal. But hey, he gets his first goal against an English club, so great for him. Lewa poor, didn't really do much. Try to hold the play, not great. And Rafinha poor, man, making poor decisions. Again, at least he tried and helped defend and stuff, but even when it's just his decision on the ball. I don't know what he was thinking today. He was making poor decision after poor decision, but not great from Rafinha at all. Dani Olmo comes in, wins us the penalty, brings his obviously to come in to try and kill off the game, both defensively and offensively, wins the penalty, so great for him. Marcus Rashford comes in, really didn't do much, honestly. He really didn't do much. I expected a spark with him coming in, didn't do much, honestly, I cannot lie. Another clear chance that we had. Rafinha crosses into Lewandowski. Lewandowski hits it wide too. I forgot about that, but yeah, not much going forward from us. Casado comes in to kill off the game as well. Came in all right. Ferran Torres slipping and sliding literally the moment he comes on. Wow. And Xavi Espart, he actually made a great tackle in the box during the lowest dying minutes where they got through us on the left-hand side, and he makes a great tackle in the box. So kudos to him, an 18-year-old coming in these pressured moments, because that's pretty much all we got. We have no other options to bring in, and he comes in with confidence. So kudos to him, kudos to the kid. And yeah, that was from Barcelona. And again, from Newcastle, Lewis Hall, spectacular game. Ilanga, very great game as well, very threatful. Burn defensively very solid. Barnes gets the goal. He hits the post at 1.2. They get an offside goal from Joe Linton that came from a post shot that Harvey Barnes took, but he was all right. Osula made some good runs, but technically you just can see he's not that great. Tonali, Joe Linton, Ramsey. I thought Ramsey was the best out of the midfield. They were all right. Anthony Gordon obviously comes in to influence the game, because from that counterattack where they got the first goal, he's the one that not even the first. I think it was like a dangerous chance. I think it was I forgot. I think it was the first goal. He made a great pass. He made some great decisions right there. Jacob Murphy gets the assist. Livramento, obviously we know what he can offer. And Willa comes in just to kill off the game. But yeah, guys. There we have it. Barcelona walk away with a 1-1 victory. I mean, we could definitely call it a victory, because we probably should have lost this game by more. A 1-1 tie, and now, of course, the second leg will be played at the Camp Nou, and hopefully Barcelona have a better performance against Newcastle than what they put up for today. Again, if I were to pick a man of the match, it's 100% going to be Joan Garcia. He was our best player today. Let's keep it a stack. Or Pedri or Kubarsi, one of those players. But Joan Garcia, I thought was spectacular. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the game, how you guys are feeling now for this second leg at the Camp Nou. Are you feeling confident? Are you a little bit worried after what you witnessed today? Let me know all those things down in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for updates me upload. Share to your friends, love football, and I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that is. Much love. Take care. I love you. Peace. God bless. Have a good day.